Thank you. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. The Grant County Board of Commissioners meeting is officially in session. If you could please stand, Commissioner Bardsley is going to lead us in prayer, and Commissioner Wright will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Shall we bow in an attitude of prayer? Gracious God, Heavenly Father, as we come to you today, we are ever mindful of your love and your mercy that endures forever. And we, as humans, are rightly aware of all the unusual and terrible, frightening things that are going on in this world. We ask that you, as Prince of Peace, will guard our hearts and our minds. And as we see things going on, we pray that we will focus on you and your love and your direction for each of us. And we pray today, Father, that as we go through the work of the county, that you would grant us your direction, wisdom, and we thank you for your love and help in all these things. We pray it in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All three commissioners are present today. So we will move on to current claims, minutes, and payroll. For claims dated August 12th, 2024, I have already given that a pre-approval. General fund, $57,364.56. Other, $275,455.88. Highway Department, $60,233.75. For a grand total of $393,054.19. As president, I give a pre-approval on August 12th, 2024, so I will look for a motion to ratify that, please.
Mr. President, I would make a motion that we ratify pre-approval of 8/12/2024.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We will move on to claims dated today. General fund, $278,146.80. Other is $96,098.85. Highway Department, $64,562.08. For a grand total of $438,807.73. I will look for a motion to approve that, please.
Mr. President, I would make a motion that we approve today's general, other, and highway as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So approved. Moving on to payroll. Payroll number 17. Pre-approval was given on August 13th, 2024 for pay dated August 16th, 2024. Gross amount was $639,719.79. I just need that ratified, please.
Mr. President, I would move that we ratify payroll number 17.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Moving on to minutes, we have minutes from June 3rd, 2024, June 17th, 2024, and July 1st of 2024. Gentlemen, do you have any other questions or discussions about the minutes for those three dates?
No, I think we've all reviewed it, edited, and I would approve June 3, June 17, and July 1st as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bardsley, second by Commissioner Wright to approve minutes for June 3rd, June 17th, and July 1st, all of 2024. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Minutes are approved. We will we will show the Weights and Measures monthly report from June 16th to July 15th. We will show that as received. Any questions about that, gentlemen? It is received. All right. Moving on to communication and board updates.
Yeah, let's see.
Reports.
One more report.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yep, we will show that as received as well. For July of 2024. Is that covered?
Yes.
Okay, good. Communications, elected officials, boards, special committees. Madam Auditor, do you have anything for?
Just for the record, we were speaking earlier off the record, but since the council didn't have a quorum, we're still in a holding pattern on the appropriations that we sent to them asking for.
That is correct. It'll be advertised and heard at the September council meeting.
Okay.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Mr. President of the County Council, I see you standing there. You have something for the good of the order?
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning. Grant County Council President. Since we didn't have a quorum, could we add the township fire to that ARPA request for the September meeting? That was one that we'd all agreed upon,
Yeah.
the 50,000 to
Oh, for the,
the volunteer.
Yep.
fire
There were a couple
department.
For all
different
of them.
numbers that I saw.
The original was 30, and you had proposed 50, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
The committee proposed it.
yeah, so we had gotten together. We had originally wanted to give each volunteer fire department 30,000. The ARPA committee got together. We discussed 50. And so I believe that's where we're at now for each department.
Just a question, because I think I saw an email flying around about volunteer fire department buying their own radios, and ARPA money cannot be used to, I'm just questioning.
Yeah.
ARPA money cannot be used to reimburse a volunteer, right?
Yeah, if they've already been purchased, there's not a reimbursement.
Okay, correct?
This would be new purchases.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it'd be new purchase of anything they want?
Well,
Is that what you're saying, or? I'm trying to figure this out, because if they've already done that, they don't need radios, some of them don't.
yeah. I mean, I guess that'd be up to both bodies to, I mean, you're one to maybe modify to any equipment and not just single out radios. Is that what you're thinking?
I don't know. I mean, it's gotta be explained in the ARPA fund to make sure that we don't get clawed back. And I just want to make sure that we're all.
So I think the question is we're basically wanting to blanket give 50,000 to each volunteer fire department. What Commissioner, and correct me if I'm wrong here, what you're saying is well, what about those fire departments that's already purchased
Yeah.
radios?
Like I say, if it's just to give them the money, I'm good with that. But if it was for radios, which that's the way it was originally proposed in the ARPA agreement,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that our language, when you turn in things, that we don't get that money clawed back from us. That's what I want to make sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, maybe you and I will probably talk about that a little more
Does
offline.
that make sense?
I think we need to just clarify it with our attorney to make sure that we don't step off the path.
You got something, Mr. Small?
Yeah, we talked about it at our mutual aid meeting, and because some of the departments have purchased some handheld radios and stuff to get by, there's still a lot of radios being purchased for trucks and other handhelds, and then Also, part of the communications thing to work with that system is our voice pagers that need to be, and we were hoping that those funds would be going to the work, that communication equipment as well. So we were looking at maybe if you guys voted just so that it said communication equipment, then that's going, safety,
I think we'd be fine with that language.
if you use that language, then that covers the voice pagers, the radios, the trucks, the handhelds, covers all that stuff to work on the 7800 system.
Yeah, which I think that was our initial anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure that that we're spending the money the way we're saying we're gonna spend the money, because they can claw back.
Yeah, we don't want, our intention isn't to pay for anything that's already been purchased.
Okay.
That's here and gone. We're looking at equipment we still have yet to obtain.
Okay.
So I think to answer your question, the answer is probably yes. We could probably do that because I think we're all in agreement.
Yes.
That would be one that we could add as an additional appropriation.
And that total was 650?
I believe so. That way
Yes, I
that's
can
just
add
another
that.
item off the
Yep.
list.
Yeah.
And then, as the county council, we start our budget process this Wednesday, Thursday, and then next Wednesday and Thursday. Got a little update, so.
Perfect. Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Any other questions for me?
I don't believe so at this time, no.
Okay, thanks.
Stick around, there might be a couple for you, so.
Later.
Yes, 650,000.
That's what I have. That was, I want to verify.
We would need a formal motion to attach that to our spending plan.
Okay. You wanna make that motion?
I'll entertain a motion, yep.
I would make a motion to add township fire radios in the amount of $650,000, with the caveat that that is for any communication devices not already purchased. And we add that to the ARPA spending plan and send it to the county council for appropriation.
I would second that.
Let's have a motion by Commissioner Wright.
No.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Barnsley, second by Commissioner Wright to approve the 650,000 for township fire radios
And communications.
and communications. Any other questions or
Covers.
discussions? Mr. Millsworth, is this what we talked about as far as having Bob Jackson and Kevin?
Yeah, you add that to the motion.
Yep,
They would be the facilitators.
yep, they'll be the ones kind of handling and,
I would add that to the, without any problem.
yep, okay.
And I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Barnsley, second by Commissioner Wright. Any other questions or discussion at this time? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Are they aware of that? Bob and Kevin?
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mrs. Harris, I see you out in the
Yes.
audience there. Do you have anything that you'd like to share?
But in speaking with Justin, it's going to be put on the table until your next meeting.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Anybody else? I don't see Mr. Jackson here. All right. IT report, do we have anybody from IT chiming in?
No, sir, we're good.
All righty, thank you. Highway Department.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
We've been working on some projects. We're still working on paving milling pipe. I would say it'll probably be completed this week, hopefully. It stopped last Friday because of rain, so working on it. Supposed to start milling the trail Wednesday morning, getting that ready for the paving project. I met with a couple companies on the bridge inspection for the August 30th deadline of having that in. Met some consulting firms on questions on that, so I've been working with that. The location out there on 38th Street, I contacted the construction crew that talked to me a couple weeks ago. I thought they had the job. They're working for the company, basically this is an insurance job kind of thing, and I thought they were already awarded the project, and he's like, no, we haven't been told if we got it or not. I'm like, oh, I thought when I met with you that you was gonna start on it. He said, no, we haven't got the say-so to go ahead and start on it, so I'm gonna make a phone call this week to AEP and see what's the holdup is.
Okay.
So, I haven't forgot.
Did see some stakes out there,
Did you?
so I don't know if they were
Looking at doing locates and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but yeah, I contacted them last Wednesday or Thursday, and, they were like, well, we haven't been awarded the project yet, so I want to see what's going on there, so. Actually, that's about all I have today, unless you gentlemen have anything.
Got some drainage board stuff for afterward if you're available.
Yeah, we can do that.
Just to kind of talk through some of the equipment.
Yes. Thanks for reminding me about that. We were talking about the needs that you had. And one list that we've got, we want to kind of clarify things. Because again, this is one of the things we're still considering for ARPA money. It seemed like we had come to some type of an understanding that an oil distribution truck was a need, a grader was a need, a mini excavator was a need. You had mentioned before, but we haven't come to any conclusion on a small paver. Are there other needs that I haven't listed there? Can you kind of bring us up to date on what you feel like those needs are?
I would say probably more than need, I think it was a grade all, is what I was told, was before the grader.
Great all.
Yeah.
You had, I think, originally identified 4 things, 5
Yeah,
things.
I was gonna say,
needed.
yeah, I was gonna say, I kind of picked the distributor, the chipper box, and 2 9-tire rollers. The only reason I kind of went that direction was those 4 is all used for the chip program. I thought if I could get those, that would be basically one project that was all taken care of kind of thing. So that's what I was looking at before initially. If I could get those 4 items, then I would have my chip seal program pretty well updated on equipment wise. So that's what I was.
So one more time with the 4 items, because I've got 3.
The oil distributor truck, the full width chipper box, and 2 9-tire rollers.
Okay.
Those there was, for the chip seal program, I was just, if I could get them all together kind of thing.
Is the paver on that list?
No, I kind of had it down, I don't even think I had it on here, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So,
Is that because it's such a small, 25,000? is what-
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So you
yes.
kind of cover that in your,
and that's the thing too, is I guess what I do have some questions is, you know, like, if I can buy stuff a little cheaper that's maybe 2 years old, I guess I was wondering if I could spend the rest of the money on some other type of equipment that's on the list. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I put that grade all for 500,000. I could probably save at least 150,000 if I bought one that was 2 years old. This, you know, so I mean, I can't really see spending the whole $500,000 if I can buy something that's a year old or 2 years old that still has warranty and everything else on it.
I don't know if there's stipulation on ARPA money.
I think it's an attorney question again, but again, we, in the process, we say we're gonna spend this money on a project, and if we don't, then my assumption is it falls back to the pot, but it has to be, still has to be designated. So if we can't buy it within the next 90 days, we may lose $150,000 if we're not careful.
Could broaden the description, I believe, just like you did with the
To say you-
communications equipment, instead of specifically identifying what that's for. I think, again, that's
It's an attorney question,
but
yes.
I think if you broaden that, it could be acceptable.
Okay. Yeah, the small grader, I would still really like to see if we could do something for smaller communities. be able to use that. I know Sweetser was wondering for their Sweetser Switch Trail. I know Gas City's been doing some alley work and stuff like that. They're going to be a little bit too much, or too small for your equipment and stuff that we want to help them out with and things. So still love to see that on the list if we can make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess one thing is if you could list it as equipment, then if it's any added money, I could
Save.
switch over and
Yeah.
save or whatever, I mean.
Yeah.
I could buy something that's a year old and still get the warranty and
Right.
save $100,000 and use it towards a paper or
Yep,
whatever, I think it's a bonus for everybody.
it is.
Justin, if we could remember to talk to Connor about that, Mr. Sullivan, that'd be great.
We may be able to, we're dealing with feds, so,
Yeah,
but if we do something like, we expanded the communication equipment, maybe we can talk about road production equipment, including yada, 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 but not limited to. Again, I don't know what kind of speak we're gonna have to deal with the feds,
okay,
but I know we gotta be specific.
we do. Okay,
And I don't know if you can kind of say, this is a list, if, as long as we don't buy anything that's not on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, if you didn't have it on the list, I'd say you probably wouldn't be able to do, add it kind of thing. So, but if it's on the list, I think it'd be a good opportunity.
Do you want to add this to the advertising for the September meeting?
I think we still discuss,
Yeah.
I think we need to have a firm conviction of what we can and can't get away with the attorney before we advertise it.
Let us talk to Mr. Sullivan and then we'll,
if we advertise it and we're not ready yet, all we gotta do is pull it.
Right, I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
advertising isn't
I
going
mean,
to hurt.
we were getting
anything.
down to the wire.
Yeah, but are we gonna do 1 million, or are we gonna do 1.5 million?
We can do either.
And again, that's an ambiguous number because we don't have specifics.
Right.
The letter for the advertisement is not to, it's due on the 29th, correct?
Yes,
I think we can probably get an answer within 10 days, and I could submit the request.
okay.
That's a good idea.
Yep,
Gee, I just like to say, I think the sooner the better.
yep, me too.
all right.
I'll make sure if we gotta bid it out, we're talking a month out at least to advertise and everything else.
Wow, okay. Getting down to the wire.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, a lot of it, so, okay. I have a question for you, and you may not know the answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Do you have any idea what's going on with the bridge north of Marion going to Huntington? 19.
I did hear that they were waiting on steel, but I think they've got some of it and they've been putting it together. So supposedly it's still on track to be done by the end of November. is what I was told.
I run on that walkway and I run underneath that bridge and I run all kinds of different times and hours. And I haven't seen one person out there in forever.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the last time I was out there, there wasn't one person on it. Supposedly it's still on track.
Okay.
Very concerned for the walkway lights.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
That's a serious problem.
Yeah, because they usually start here pretty.
We
soon.
start a week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So very concerned.
Okay. Anything else for Mr. White? Thank you, sir. All right, we will move on to old business, ARPA discussion. Mrs. Kane, would you like to come up and speak to us for just a few minutes on your request for ARPA for the cemetery, please? Are you prepared to do that? I know we kind
Off the top of my head, because
we kind of sprung it on you,
just
so.
like I said, I've been eating, drinking, and sleeping this.
So the main question
Ask me
is,
any questions.
yes, so the main question is, I think that we have, is the money that you were trying to raise, because you came to not only the Board of Commissioners, but also the City Council in Marion, and I think you requested $300,000. Can you explain a little bit what that money will be used for? I believe you're trying to raise you're trying to raise a large amount of money, and that's what this 300,000 would go into. It's not necessarily to spend, it's to, you're trying to get as much money as possible. You're trying to hit a target, and then you'll be using that money to help take care of the cemetery.
Yeah,
Did I?
my ultimate target is 3 million.
Okay.
Because it needs to, I need to put it in a fund that I can use the interest to sustain the cemetery.
Okay.
And it's gonna take minimum 3 million. My goal, I'd love to be able to double that to 6. It would be creating 2 funds. One would be, the fund from the county, which would be ARPA. And I've already spoken directly in person with, the State Board of Accounts and DLGF. And have gotten the confirmation that I'll do 2 funds. They're going to both be non-reverting. So those funds would stay in there just for the cemetery. And it's for improvements. It's to reset headstones, to correct and up and fix all the mausoleums that are falling down, and then the constant care of the lawn, plus tree removal. I need to fix the roads in there. I'm looking also, I've been talking with grant writers to try and do some historical grants, because the more research I do who's out there, is phenomenal, the historical value of the cemetery. There are 40,050 people buried out there as of my last official count that I've been able to get. That's almost double the size of Marion's population. You know, and every heritage out there has a story. And I just want to preserve those stories. I was just out there yesterday. My husband and I were out there 4 hours because we do 600 headstones. So we were out there working, and again, I just see, I'm sorry, it's emotional for me too. I just see how disrespectful that the grounds are kept in. And I saw a burn pile that was less than 2 feet away from a headstone, right in the middle of the cemetery. That's not right. And then there's a pile of dirt that is just feet from a whole family's plot. And there's gravel thrown up on those headstones, and when I gain control of that cemetery, I'm gonna have to get out there and dig those headstones out, because they just pile dirt right on them. And, we gotta do something. And, before the city council, there was a public hearing, and there's probably about 100 people that came to this public hearing. We had to bring in chairs or standing room only. And the people that got up and spoke, the tears and the heartache, it's not right. This needs to happen, and I have a passion to do it, and I have a passion to do it right, so that there will be continued financial funding for the continued care of the cemetery. That it won't fall back into this disrepair and bring all this heartache to the community anymore.
Thank you for that.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So, Skinny, I'm all for it. I want to try to figure out how to do this. I do worry about, after you leave, your predecessor, whoever that may be. So will the trustee's office be responsible for everything from now until eternity?
Yes. And that's why I'm putting in a non-reverting fund, so that nothing can be taken out of that fund for any other usage at all. It has to stay in that non-reverting fund and only go towards cemetery care. The ordinance will be written there'll be two non-reverting funds, one with the county side and one with the city side. Because, you know, I want to keep separate, and if neither entity adds to that fund, and once one is depleted, then it'll just go to one non-reverting fund. But it's non-reverting means it stays in that fund for cemetery care only, for the upkeep, the replacement, to fix everything, to maintain everything. I will write the ordinance to create the non-reverting fund to go along with your statement in your ARPA fund. So if it's specific towards just a mausoleum or just headstones to fix those, or the roads that are in there, or the weed control, or taking down trees, I'll follow that for the county side.
So
The city side, sorry, the
that's
city
what
side, I can use it for the litigations of obtaining the cemetery, and then the care. The lawn, taking it down the trees, getting the weeds controlled, doing the weed. I'm gonna hire certified people to do the weed control and the lawn care, and that's the city side.
my only concern is you've got the passion. Not sure who the next person coming in is. And I'm not saying you're gonna leave anytime soon, by no means, and hopefully you can get it to where you are proud of it and know it's a proud thing for Grant County and Marion. That's what I'm hoping. My concern is we are setting up your next person to be responsible for all this as well as the county. Correct me if I'm wrong, because if we're doing it through a trustee's office, is the county liable for anything at that point?
No, yeah, I can answer that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
No, the township, there are stringent, and I think I gave you the state statutes in my presentation
Okay.
to the committee, and I can bring those back
Okay.
on the 3rd. But the state statute is very specific that it's a township's responsibility, and it's a Class C felony if we don't comply to resetting monuments, weed control, tree and brush control. I mean, there is very specific and scary, to be honest. And I have monthly reports that have to be provided to the State Board of Accounts. So those monthly reports have to be provided, plus the annual reports. And they're very, I mean, I'm watched very carefully on the financial side. If I, and it can't, I have to justify, right now I take care of cemeteries. And I have to turn in those reports and justify what I'm taking care of.
So you do other cemeteries as well?
Yes, I have two other cemeteries.
Okay, all right.
McKinley, Luger,
Okay.
and Burson. Burson is on 18 as you're going out of town. You'll see it at 500. You'll see it right there in the corner. If you want to go by, that's how a cemetery should be taken care of. I'm proud of my cemeteries, and I have a cemetery fund already. So, and it's stipulated what that money goes towards, and I can't spend anything outside of that.
Okay. That helps me understand now a third one. I didn't know we had two.
Yeah.
So that helps me
And
understand the process.
Yeah, every township has some. And Teresa Baker, I think she has 4.
Okay.
Are those considered abandoned or no longer cared for, and then they fall to your jurisdiction?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the state statute, abandoned can also mean someone that does not have the funds to properly care for it, or someone that has the funds but is not properly caring for it. And so I'm currently working with Ed Merchant from Fishers as my legal counsel and we're moving forward to see how I'm gonna get the cemetery, because I'm gonna, do I do a purchasing thing? Right now, the gentleman that is mowing, he is not an owner. The association's an owner, but the association did not get their transfer of presidency when the brother passed away. They didn't get it filed. It's because I brought that to the community's attention, he realized he didn't get it filed, so they just filed it. There's 2 board members on that association. Craig Persinger is the secretary, and Brian Jeffries would like to have his name put on as the president since his brother passed away. That just got filed at the end of June. No, this is August, right? At the end of July. So there's not an association yet until the state Secretary of State confirms that that association is now valid. So there's no owner, there's no association. I'm trying to grab that time in between to see if I can take it without having to.
Are you aware of any funds that is in that association now?
I've heard multiple, it got embezzled years ago. I've heard multiple figures from Brian Jeffries, because I've had different conversations with him. But as the secretary of the association, Craig does not feel that there's probably any money currently in there.
Any other questions for Mrs. Kane?
Thank you for the lawyer, but not for Mrs. Kane right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That answered a lot of questions.
Appreciate it on short notice. That was very good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, moving on to new business, cell phone stipend request for Mr. Harold. Is Vince here?
Vince is on vacation, so I'll take care of this.
All right.
Fairly straightforward request here. We have a newer member of the maintenance team that has just passed his probationary period and is requesting the cell phone stipend, $55 per month.
Okay. Any questions, for Justin?
Pretty straightforward.
On call 24/7, needs it.
Yep, for sure.
You need a motion on that?
I do,
I
yep.
will make a motion to grant request for cellular phone allowance to Christian Harold in maintenance.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Wright to approve the request for cell phone stipend allowance, second by Commissioner Bardsley. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. So moved. It is approved. Annual certification for contract disclosure and nepotism. Justin, you want to handle those?
Yeah, just requesting your signature on these 2 certifications. This is just annual housekeeping stuff having to do with county nepotism policy. According to Indiana Code 36-1-21. So there's a contract disclosure policy and nepotism. I'll ask you to sign both of these 2, please.
Individual.
Yes.
Signing. Stewards.
Mr. Wright.
And who all signs these?
All elected officials.
All elected officials.
That is all I have.
All right. Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, do you have any other business to discuss at this time?
Not good.
All right. Hearing none, we will move on to public comment. At this time, the public is invited to speak before the board. Please approach the podium when recognized by the president. State your name, address, concerns, or comments. No complaints, accusations, or name-calling regarding personnel can be allowed during this public discussion time. A time limit of 3 minutes will be given. If more than one person is represented for a group, only one spokesperson will be heard. It is expected that professionalism and courtesy be displayed at all times during the public comments portion of the meeting. So we will go about 20 minutes here. Good morning.
Hi, Lynn Morgan from Upland. The only thing I have is, can we have the information where your hearing notices will be found? Where
What hearing notices is that, ma'am?
any hearing notices from here? You were talking about a notice, a public meeting notice, but if you advertise it, where are you advertising it? What I need to know.
Justin, you want to take that? We put them in the newspapers.
The Chronicle and the News Herald.
The Chronicle,
And it goes online, does it not? Does it go online as well, Justin?
No, it's posted, it's advertised to the media and internally.
Posted on the doors?
Yes.
these doors.
Why don't know?
And then what media, just paper? No radio or
Yes, radio as well.
what stations?
I think the owner station is 106.9. I believe they own 1993.
And WBAT,
Yes.
1400 AM.
14,
AM.
and then channel 27.
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't see them in the newspapers most of the time. They don't tell me anything local, so. Okay, and is that every place we can find things? Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I should have spoke, I'm Pam Harris, in Grant County, Indiana. I should have spoke up earlier, I guess, or maybe during the ARPA conversation. I'd just like to remind you that the clerk's office is very much in need of those portion of those ARPA funds. It's our request isn't as much or as complicated as some, and once those records, and again, like I've been saying since 2019, these are our stories for our county, and once those documents are digitized, they will be done. That won't be monies other than maybe a small maintenance fee year to year, but there won't be more monies requested to digitize and protect and preserve those precious documents. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi,
Good morning.
Karen Creech, Marion. I'm not sure if this is a complaint, it's not meant to be one, but I was pretty troubled by the comments that were made at the last commissioners meeting, and I kind of wrote some things, and I would like to share it if I may, please. I mean, this in all respect. I'm just gonna read how I wrote, if I may. I was really greatly troubled that a person who holds a high position as commissioner would feel the need to vilify and demonize the people who oppose the solar project. In his speech, I felt I was painted as an uncaring, selfish, dishonest, and unethical due to my personal opposition to solar on farmland. A lot of examples were given to the dark, dire results if the solar farm project fails. Here are 4 that were briefly mentioned. A family cannot financially plan for a future of a disabled child. Church members are divided and no pro-solar are being shunned. No growth and prosperity in Grant County, for without solar it can't grow. A loss of $4 billion of development due to no solar wind. Mr. Wright made these statements without any evidence that prove that this will happen. any of this is even true. Nameless, faceless, invisible investors or developers who no one's ever seen, do they really exist? He didn't stop there. He went on to name two men who currently hold seats on different boards. He implied that they were unethical or misusing their positions, and implied some of the rulings may be illegal. But no evidence was given to back up these statements. I personally believe he needs a villain, someone for the residents and officials to blame if this project fails. The scapegoat today is those who have put solar on farmland. The precedent has been set. Going forward, any budget constraints are unable to force something, someone will say, if those solar farms had just gone through. I wonder who will be demonized next. You see on the news every night, people who question, oppose, or speak out against any policy, be what's in authority, are vilified or silenced, or even maybe lose their positions. I never thought I'd see it here in my hometown, but it's here. I won't be the scapegoat for how this county got here, because it got here because of past commissioners' failures to deal with situations, deal with buildings, or fiscal responsibility, for investments. This is where all the blame used to lie. But I will continue to oppose this project and vote, even as I feel Mr. Wright sneered at the small turnout at the last election. I appreciate you allowing me to put my thoughts in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jeffrey Kilgren, 1304 South Virginia Avenue, Marion. Request to purchase a parcel of county land that's vacant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Justin recommended that I approach you all to ask. There's a crude drawing. Sorry, I'm not a good artist. Crude drawing, but you'll see kind of in the center of the drawing, it's cross-hatched. It's got the county designation on it, and it's got the parcel number on it. It's 1 to 2.
Do you have one more? Do you have one more?
Yeah, I should be able to look for it.
I'm familiar with it.
It's basically post-industrial land that used to be dumping ground for the Marion Malleable Iron Works. So it's several stories tall from all the sand that's been dumped there over the years. Trying to purchase it because it's been used for illegal dumping. And right now, what I have to do is call the county once a year to have them clean the brush and trash that accumulates along Virginia Avenue there, because people use it as a public dumping area. And if I'm able to purchase it, then I will fence it and prevent it from dumping, used for illegal dumping. And I'll stop here to see if anybody on the board or the public have any questions. I also put my neighbors that are surround the parcel, I put their names on there as well, in case you want to get their input before making a decision.
I'm trying to see this.
On the east is Virginia Avenue. On the west is the Beltline Railroad that runs to Agricorp. On the north is 10th Street, right next to 9th Street, the road to Sweetser, 00 County Road. And if you go to the south, you'll hit 16th Street, Roseburg Pike.
Mind me, Jeffrey, it's on the east side of the spur,
I don't know what the spur is.
the railroad.
The railroad spur, there's no railroad there anymore, but it's still on the maps as a railroad. I think it's an old interurban line. We had an interurban network. But it's to the south of that spur on the map. And that's designated on there, that parcel, that it has kind of a curving line to it with a parcel number and the null designation on that map. That's that spur you're talking about. So it's south of that.
I don't know the history, except that the county has taken that over the years, and it is under our name. But,
Which, I'm still struggling. So which property? This property?
up there.
Up here? Down right there.
It's
This-
cross-hatched.
Yeah.
I got you, okay.
Cross-hatched, yeah.
Okay.
North of it used to be the old Farm Bureau Co-op fuel point,
Okay.
but that's not there anymore.
Okay.
Co-Alliance took that over and sold that vacant parcel to me. So I've got parcel north, parcel south, trying to get the county slice in the middle, so it's all one parcel.
You've spoken to their attorney, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Persinger?
Yes, and he's in the same
He's-
office
he's
as my
aware.
attorney, which is Phil Stevens, is my attorney,
Okay.
although he's gonna retire soon. And your attorney is Mr. Persinger in the same office. And Mr. Persinger said he can do it if you guys give him the thumbs up, but he can't do anything without your direction.
I have no problem moving forward on this. This is a request he's made multiple times, and I think it's good to get it into somebody's hands besides ours. We have no development out that way, so
I agree.
I would move forward with the discussions with our attorneys and see how we can make a sale.
Second on that?
Is that
That's a motion.
It's a motion.
We'll let our
I'll second that.
attorneys
I'll let the attorneys
hash that out.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Bardsley, second by Commissioner Wright. Any other questions or discussion for this gentleman? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Be good to get it back on the tax rolls.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'll take care of it. I'll talk to Kyle.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? Got about 5 minutes.
Hi, how you doing today?
Good, how are you, Mr. Creech?
1409 Ironwood. I just had a couple questions, a couple points. At the last commissioner's meeting, my wife alluded to, there was a statement by one of the commissioners. Mr. Stewart, you just read a statement about the conduct of rules of how they're going to be done. I think it's very, very important that the rules work both ways. Mr. Wright, in his statement, is entitled to his opinion on whether or not to have solar or not to have solar, and I truly appreciate that. But the line of integrity was crossed when you start calling out other officials by name with accusations. Okay, you won't allow that for the public, but is that going to be the standard operating procedures for the commissioners? I think it's time for the commissioners to draw a line and say, this is where we're at with this, so you can hold people accountable. So you can't have one set of rules for the commissioners and one set of rules for the public. If not, there's no integrity there at all. And I just hope that we can do something so we can have a move forward. And I just think that all opinions should be shared, but not when you start bringing in people by name. You could refer to them by position, title, whatever. But when you start bringing people in by name, I think that crosses the integrity line. And that's what I was trying to convey to Mr. Wright the other day. And I just hope that we address that. And I hope that that is in the rules of conduct for the commissioners and how you operate. I think it just went across the line. The second thing I wanted to bring up is I think it's very, very important. We keep talking about the plan, the comprehensive plan for the city, and I know everybody's like, well, let's just not do that. There may not have been the comprehensive plan pushed out a long time ago, but there's a lot of elements that have came up that could affect this, not only just solar, but when we were in Michigan, I was in Michigan, and I observed this, the lack of that allowed a lot of things to happen, like when they legalized medical marijuana, marijuana farms came in under the guise of, hey, you allowed it for the windmills, you allowed it for the solar, and a lot of things got passed because you set an example for one and not an example for another. I just hope you take the time to maybe consider that, because that became a huge legal problem for the city of Detroit, the Flint area up there, and the rural farmlands up there, trying to control that and trying to enforce ordinances and things like that. There's other things, factors out there that need to be considered when you're talking about the comprehensive plan, not just one aspect of whether or not solar or whatever. It's a changing dynamic. You know, we could have could be nuclear, a lot of other things, business, the leak water plan. You know, how is all those things going to affect? That's why it's very, very important to have a comprehensive plan. Thank you very much.
Mr. Creech?
Thank you, sir.
Before you leave, just a couple things. Would you agree that it's not right to grab somebody's arm?
I didn't grab your arm.
Yes, you did, sir.
I was talking.
No, now listen to me. My turn to talk, then you can talk if you want to. You grabbed me on the way out, and I asked you to take your hand off my arm. Did I? Correct?
But here's what happened.
Hang on. Is that the type of response that we should get from our citizens? You're saying you're holding me accountable. Should I hold you accountable?
You're in a public meeting. That happened in the discussion afterwards. I was talking.
So it's okay to do that. So let me bring up.
Let me tell you what I said.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I make a motion, we recess.
I was talking with my hands. You turned into my hand.
Not true.
That's the second time you've done that. You've done that to one other person.
Thank you, Mr. Creech.
Thank you.
And Mr. Wright.
We're done.
I was trying to have a civil conversation. You brought that up.
Thank you, Mr. Creech.
You are wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Okay, we are finished with public comments. Mr. Jackson, I seen you step in. Do you have anything for the? Okay, awesome, thank you. All right. All right. The next Board of Commissioners meeting will be Monday, September.
Tuesday, September 3rd. Monday.
Oh, is that Labor Day?
Yep.
I didn't know that. Tuesday, September 3rd. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We are in recess.